Of course, as you see from the screenshots, my Notion is not set up like this, but this is where you can get to know Notion a little bit. Of course, this video is going to be a little introduction. You can click anywhere to just start typing, and you can be like, hello, this is my first sentence in Notion. And you see a little checklist that they already made for you. In Creative OS, you will have your own little checklist to go through with this tutorial videos to guide you. So the second thing that you will learn is you can create all kinds of things by hitting a slash. So I'm gonna press plus here, and you see it's already indented. You can press it back, and if you press slash, you can see the basic blocks. You can create a text, you can create a page, and Notion is built on databases. So each database can have a number of these elements. You can put in an image, you can put embeds, Figma, Google Drive, Loom, all of these tools that are widely used. You can create toggles and all of that. I'm just going to take you through a few, but let's make a basic page to walk you through the most important and most basic ones. And I will also tell you a little bit about how you can use a database. So let's press slash and you create a page. The first thing you should know about pages, you can add icons to a page. Let's say this is like a new beginning, so let's use a flag maybe. Let's use shy. Let's use shy because we're very shy. We're just starting out on Notion. And as you see, I press the button, add a cover as well. And the beautiful thing about Notion is if you're in a rush, you can always press the buttons and they will generate something for you, and you can click and choose them later. So here you can press reposition to reposition your this is beautiful, to reposition your cover, and you can save the position. You can also press change cover, and you see there's a lot of beautiful images. They have different collections. You have colors and gradients. These are very general and useful. You have some beautiful images from space, and you have an archive, you have art, and Unsplash is a big database of free to use, copyright free images. So let's say you want to make this with tech or computers, something like that. You can press this beautiful image over here, and we can reposition it a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So let's give this page a title, my first Notion page. And here you can see, before I type anything, if you press delete again, you'll see there are some templates you can choose. You can click to create a database with different views. All of the views are based on the same database. And you can choose a template, or you can create templates. You can import templates, or you can create your own. I will go through all of these because the Creative OS is based on quite some templates. So when we press slash, I often like to start off with a heading. This is the first heading. Then we're going to add a little bit of a text here. Hello, this is a sentence. And I'm going to copy, and when you press Command A, you can copy, and you can just paste a few more in. So now we created a heading with a sentence. Already you can see how useful it is. You can add to-dos. This is task 1, and you can press on the handle here to rearrange and drag your tasks or your any block basically, and you can also turn it into something else. Let's say I want to make a heading from this. You can also duplicate it a few times. Duplication also works with the Command C, Command V, or Control C, Control V. These are the basics. The basic building blocks give you a good amount of options. You can make bullet lists, you can make tables, you can make quotes, dividers, all of that. The things that are a bit more interesting, you can use toggles. You can also search in these commands. So when you press slash and you go like toggle, you can make a toggle list, a normal one, which looks like this. This is a toggle list. You can go to the front, you can press command control space on a Mac, and on a PC you can open up your keyboard and you can add more emojis to it. You also can press the handle and you can go to color, where you can change the color of both the toggle itself or the text itself, and you can also create backgrounds, let's say a blue background. So this whole toggle, when I press the button, it opens and closes. It's a very beautiful way to store more data. Let's say we want all of this, we want the task list. I will select all of it. I will Command Exit to copy it and Command V to paste it in here. And then we have a beautiful toggle list. A very, very useful method of creating more organized and more structured data. You can also add dividers, and a divider can separate pages. You can also style this a little bit, but it divides your data. Other interesting things to use are emojis, images. You can add a nice little image, and again you can upload an image yourself, or you can go to Unsplash and pick, like, I don't know, a cat. Beautiful. So it gets it in. When you take an image, you can grab these handlebars, you can make it smaller or wider, and if you, for example, duplicate the image, you can also grab the handlebar and put it next to each other. So with these basic commands, you can already see the page is starting to live and it's starting to take shape. Now the next thing that I want to make is another page, and let's maybe make it on the root. So you see to the left side you have pages, and they're on the root of your Notion. If I click here, add a page, we can call this, let's say, phone book. We will give it a nice icon of a phone. And you can add a cover to this. Let's make it a nice telephone book. Or just like contacts. Let's see what this is. There we go. I'm gonna reposition it a little bit like that. Now we have a little simple phone book. The thing that you want to do now, if you want to start with databases, you press the command button again, which is slash, and you type in database. And as you can see, you get a few options, and I will go through these options, but let's just start with a table view, which is a very simple database. So you can select a data source, or you can make a new database. I'm gonna press new database. The basics of a database, I'm gonna call this database contacts, is you have rows and you have columns. The rows represent an entry into the database. So let's set up the database first. The columns, they represent properties that each of the entries in the database have. So when you have a phone book, it's basically just a database with the name, maybe the phone number. And when you press the column here, you can edit the property. These are called properties. The columns are called properties. So you press property, and let's say I want to say number. And then you have the type. These are all the types of properties that you can have in a database. Let's create a very simple database. I want to get the number, the email, and maybe the status of the person that I'm in contact with. So we can put in a number like this. This is generally referring to an integer, any number that is between 0 and whatever, or 0 point or 1 point. But they also have a field for phone, which is really handy. So I'm going to select phone, and when I select phone, you can see that the formatting here starts to work. So I'm going to put in this random number here, and let's say this is my friend Bart. And we want to add also a property for the email. I'm going to do it like this, and you can actually validate this. So email. In this field, it's going to automatically recognize the email. So bart@email.com. And then let's add one more property, and let's call this the select. The select is a very beautiful thing. It's a property that you can select from a list of entries into that property. So the options. Here we can add the option, well, he's a friend. We can also create the option close friend or frenemy. Frenemy, and let's also say X or lover, and we can change these. So if I press lover, I can make it pink. If I press X, I can make it red. If I make frenemy, I'll make it yellow. Close friend is orange, or no, let's make a close friend purple, and we can also make it a friend green. So as you can see, they have a little bit of a hierarchy to them. You can, for example, put the close friend below the lover, the friend underneath that, the frenemy, and then the X. You can put them like that. So we now have the property. Let's try to get a few more in. I'll do that really quickly and jump back to you. Okay, I've populated our little database with a few things, and here is where it gets interesting and the power of Notion really comes to shine through. Even though this database is very simple, we have like 6 people in it and they all have different properties and friends, we can start using the different capabilities. Let's firstly go over the views. So here you can rename the view, you can call it like table view, for example. And you see you have a few view options. The layout is a table, and you can show the database title. You can take that off, for example, because we know it's the phone book. And then also you can filter, sort, group, and set the load limit of this database. Let's create a new view and view our contacts in a more interesting way. For example, we can make a board, and we can call this friend status. Now you see automatically it goes by grouping my friends into this, and we want to show a little bit more information. So we go here back into the view options and we press properties. You see all the properties are listed here. I want to show the email, the number, and what they are. Well, they're sorted by that, so let's hide that one. And we can go back and we can also do some more settings for the board. So each of the views have different settings. The card preview, I want it to be the page cover, and the card size, let's keep it at minimum. And by adding, so each of these is a new page, by adding like little covers and by adding little icons to them, we can create our own visual system. And again, we're working from the same database, we're just applying different views and different filters on how these work. If I want to add a friend and I want to show them in a different manner, I can always change the views. And by going here and seeing I don't have any frenemies in here, let's add a frenemy. We can press plus and we can add it here, and we can also go in. So let's say Halloumi is my frenemy. I give him an icon and a cover, and I add the same number, Halloumi at apple.com, and he works at Apple. So already you're seeing that our database is getting populated and it's getting pretty interesting because we can move our people around and it will change. So let's say Brian becomes a close friend. I just click it and drag it over here, and we can go back into our table view and we can see now Brian has the status of close friend. Also, when I added all these icons, you see they appear in front of the name. This is just beautiful. But let's say I want to have a different view where I maybe have a gallery of all of my friends, and I want the preview to be, I want the card to be like small, and I still want the card to show like this. I want to show a few more properties, so I'm going to add the email and the number again, and that's beautiful. And also in the card preview, I want to show the preview of this person. So I go into gallery, and the card preview is now set to the page content. Let's change that back again to page cover, so in that way we can see the covers. So this is how you generally create and manipulate different views, and this is mostly working from the visual. You can also create, if you have dates, you can create calendars, you can create lists, you can create a timeline, and you can also, if you have more properties, you can create views that are different from that. So here we have the friend status. Here I can see all my friends, and maybe these cards are a little too big, so I go here back into the view options, and I make the card size small again. Perfect. Now let's say we're in this gallery view that we just created, and we can rename the gallery. We can call it like contacts board view. Now let's talk about filters. Let's say I want to filter everyone that is a good friend. Let me also go back into properties and show the property. Let's say I want to see all my close friends. I can go into filter here, and we can say filter by the property, and maybe it's wise as well to change this property from property to friend status. And we're in the friend statuses, and we can go back into the contacts view, and we maybe want to show all these friends filtered. So let's filter them, filter the status by lovers and close friends. So here we see all our lovers and close friends. Well, this is just the basic introduction of what a database is. We have the phone book here, and if you build a dashboard, because now we don't really have a dashboard, you can put pages into other pages. So if I, for example, take this phone book and I put it here, I have a phone book, and now it's living inside my getting started page. If I would rename this to, for example, dashboard, I will have a phone book inside. And the beauty of it is I can take all of this, I can take all of this, delete it, and I want to show my phone book. I can press slash again, and we can press here linked view of a database. So instead of making a new database this time, we can link the already made database, the one that we just made. We can add it here. So contacts, boom, and here we can choose the view. So let's say the friend status. So now we created on our dashboard a database view, and combining what we already know, let's make a toggle. Let's make it a H3 toggle. Let's call it like contacts gallery, and let's bring it all the way up here. I can press the toggle and take the handle and put this database inside. So now we're starting to really see the power of Notion, and this can be very overwhelming, I'm sure, because it's also new. But here we have a friend database that is embedded inside, and we can even make a new one and be like linked. So we have a beautiful database now showing all of our friends, and we can add filters, and we can also sort them. Let's say we want to sort them alphabetically from A to Z. So by doing that, you see Brian comes first, then Yulita, and then here Bad and Bougie, and then here Halloumi, and we can go into the contacts and also see all these other databases. This is why it wasn't showing. There we go. We can add another view, and we can have a table view, and we can filter or sort them by their name, ascending, and you can even sort them by their name first, and then their email, So anyone that has the same name, the person with the email that is before will come first. And we can also edit the second sort to friend status. So anyone within an alphabetical range of A or B, so B, 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 and then they are filtered by X friend, close friend. So this is how the simple introduction to Notion works. I will see you into the next video where we're going to dive deeper and download Creative OS, add the template, and we are going to run through all of the different features and how you can use and leverage them for your own special powers. I'm very excited to see you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching.